Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, from wherever you're watching me from. I want to thank you for tuning in once again to watch my video. I thank you for all the likes, the follow, the comments, and even how you share my video too. I want to thank everyone for it. It's another day and I want to push another video out. The last video I pushed out was I said some, I think how did I capture that video? Maybe some differences or some culture shock between Nigeria and Canada or something like that. Yeah, this is more like a follow-up video, but I want to title this one some certain things or things about Canada that probably most people do not know. Yeah, I want to say maybe 10 things about Canada that most people do not know, especially my Nigerian and African brothers. So there are more than this, but I just want to capture like 10 that came to my head as quickly as possible. So like I said, thank you and welcome to my channel once again. So without further ado, let's quickly jump into the video. 10 things about Canada that you never knew before now. The first one I want to mention is about university education. Any person that must go into the university must be at least 18 years old. Yeah, it's a law in Canada that for you to enter the university, you must be at least 18 years old. We found out that in Nigeria, most people, just like me, I finished my high school at 15. And by 15 plus, I was already in the higher institution. It doesn't work like that here in Canada. In Canada, you must be 18 years old before you go into the university. So there's no rush about it. You find out that most students in Canada, they just finish SS3, they are 15, 16. Before you know, at 15, 16, they're already in 100 level and all that. By the time they are 18, 19, they've graduated. No, it's not done. Here in Canada, you must be at least 18 years before you are allowed to go into the university. That's why I see most students, even when they finish high school, secondary school in Nigeria, and they come to Canada, the thing is, they check your age. It's your age, they'll put you in school. So most of them, by the time they get here, they are 16 and all that. They'll ask them, no, you still have to go and spend like a year or two in high school here in Canada, so that by the time you are going to the university, you'll be 18. So in Canada, at least you have to be 18. The second thing I want to mention is there's nothing like entrance exam here for students if you want to go into the university. If you school here in Canada, the high school, right, and you are going to the university, you don't write an exam to go into the university. Just like in Nigeria, the way we write JAMB. You see people, they will write JAMB, after JAMB, they will write post-JAMB before they go to the university. No, it's not done. From your high school, when I mean high school here, I'm talking about secondary school. From your high school, your school will just, maybe when you are in your final year, here they call it grade 12. So when you are in your grade 12, your school will send your academic records to your school. By that time, you would have filled forms and all that, make like 3 choices of the school you want to go to. Maybe you choose University of Carleton University, maybe University of Toronto and all that. So your school will send your academic records to this school and your choice of study. So the school will determine that yes, you are fit for this course. Then they will offer you admission. You don't write the exam. You understand? So some school, they will just say, okay, for them to admit you for this course, you must have scored a minimum of 80% in all your maybe courses from maybe grade 12, maybe from grade let's say grade 10 to grade 12, just like that. So it means all the courses you took while you are in grade 10, all of them, none has to be below 80. So they just give condition like that. So if you meet the condition, they admit you. It's not as if you are going to write any fresh exam and all that. So if they don't take you, you look for another course that they will advise that, okay, why not take this course? Why not take this one? Because from your academic records, they know where your strength is and where your weaknesses are. Just like that. Just like I said, they don't write entrance exam to go into the university here. You just check your academic records from your high school. The third thing I want to mention here is about employment insurance. So here in Canada, if you lose your job, right, when it's discovered that it's no fault of yours, Canadian government pays you 80% of your salary for at least 1 year. Every month they'll be paying you 80% for at least 1 year, or until you get another job. What am I trying to say? You are working somewhere now, something happened and you lose your job and it's no fault of yours. Let's say the company folded up, or maybe there are some companies that due to Canadian weather, during winter they don't work. So they just give their staff letter that, okay, during this winter period we'll not be able to work. Especially companies that maybe do like roofing, you know, all this roofing, they roof house, roof all this high rise and all that. During extreme winter, most of these people, they are not able to work. So they give the employees later, just like to lay them off temporarily, you know. So with that letter, they know it's no fault of yours that you don't have a job. So the Canadian government will pay you 80% of what that company is paying you for minimum of 1 year until you get another job. So most people that are working in such companies, they just go get that, some of them just sit at home, some they use that to go to school, you understand, and all that. And some people, they just fake it, or maybe they say they have maybe injury from place of work or something like that. They are not able to work due to health concern and all that. So if you are not able to work due to health concern, yes, employment insurance comes in and they pay you 80% of your salary until 1 year, or when you're able to get well and resume back at your job. And basically another thing I want to quickly add is the employment insurance, definitely while you are working, they are deducting something from your salary as your contribution to the employment insurance. Just like maybe you insure your car, you know, every month you'll be paying something for that insurance and all that. So it's like that. So for this employment insurance, you are insuring your work. So every month they deduct something from your salary. Another thing I'll be quick to add is in Canada, almost everybody pays their salary every 2 weeks. Everybody. So if they pay you today, in another 2 weeks they pay you. So in a month they pay 2 times. That's the system here in Canada. So like I said, if you lose your job and it's no fault of yours, they pay you 80% of your salary for 1 year or until you get another job. It's not when you resign, or if you resign, that one is on your own. Nobody will pay you. Okay, another thing I want to quickly mention is Canada is a bilingual country. So what does this mean? Canada speaks both English and French. So if you work in an organization or you go to the store to buy anything, you find that just like if you buy something from the store, normally you will see they just put description about the goods or something like that. In Canada, everything you buy, you will see written in English and in French. In English and in French. And in Canada, for you to occupy any federal position, you must be able to speak and write English and French fluently. If not, nobody will even vote you to start with. That is federal position, don't get me wrong. So there's this struggle, or do I call it balance, between the English speaking and the French speaking. So everybody's battling for supremacy. So for you to like become a minister, or a prime minister, or you are going into the house or something like that, must be able to speak English and French for federal workers. And most things you do, emails and all that, or maybe you buy something from the store, there's always description in English and in French. What else am I talking about? Okay, and actually I want to quickly add this. Canada is the second largest country in the world. Second largest country, yes, you heard me right. Second largest country in the world. Yes, it's only second to Russia. Yeah, that's in terms of land mass. In terms of land mass, Canada is the second largest country in the world in terms of land mass. Canada is a very big country, but as big as Canada is, the population of Canada is just 40 million. Can you beat that? Just 40 million people. That's why you see that Canada every day, they just try to bring immigrants in and all that. The population is just 40 million. And most of their population are aging population, that's old people. So they're trying to encourage young people to come so that they'll be able to work. The tax they generate from these people working is what they want to use to at least still take care of the country, maintain the old generation and all that, you know. That's why I see Canada is very welcoming to immigrants. They want people to come and all that. The population is just 40 million. 40 million is just like, I think in Lagos is 20-something million. Lagos alone. They say Kano is how many million? They say Kano is even more than Lagos. Maybe Kano is 30-something million or 40-something million, I don't know. So the whole of Kano is like the whole of Canada. That's the meaning. You understand? There are no people here in Canada. That's why they are trying to bring in many people. And the minister, I think, spoke yesterday. They have plans that, okay, by 2024, I think they are bringing like 500,000 people. 2025, 500,000 people. 2026, just like that, 500,000 people. So in the next 3 years, they are bringing close to 1.5 million immigrants with permanent residency into Canada. Yes, Canada has, like I mentioned, it has the largest, what's it called, second largest land mass. And because of this, another point I want to quickly jump into is Canada has 6 different time zones. 6 different time zones. Yes, you know what we mean by time zone? Like the time now here is after 9. It's like some minutes after 9. Yeah, I'm recording this from my room. It's in the evening. Some minutes after 9, right? Here, if you go to Winnipeg, Winnipeg is in Manitoba. By flight, it's like 2 hours flight. Yeah, less than 2 hours. If you are going to Winnipeg, Winnipeg is 1 hour behind. So if you fly to Winnipeg, you are like, since this is after 9, in Winnipeg, they will be in after 8. That's a different time zone. And if you fly from here to Vancouver, I think they are 2 or 3 hours behind. And all these places are within the same Canada. You understand? If you go to Vancouver, I think they are 2 or 3 hours behind, just like that. So Canada alone has 6 different time zones. So you can imagine, if you are flying from one place in Canada to another place, some flight is as far as 8 hours, just within the same Canada. Airborne, you are 7, 8 hours, you are still airborne flying. Flying from Nigeria to UK is 6 hours. From Nigeria to UK is 6 hours. From Nigeria to Ghana is slightly above 1 hour. Now you don't reach Ghana land. But you are flying even within Canada, you find out that 7, 8 hours, even more, you are still airborne within the same Canada. So Canada's land is very, 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 the land mass is massive. And the population is small, just 40 million. Just 40 million. So another thing I want to quickly mention is in Canada, it's easier to get your permanent residency and citizenship as compared to the United States or the UK. At least this I know. It's easier. Canada has different pathways, many pathways for you to have your permanent residency. That is if you meet the criteria, but they have so many pathways, you understand, for you to become a permanent resident of Canada and eventually become a citizen. So to get your papers in Canada is far easier as compared to United States and or the United Kingdom. Yes, you can quote me on that. Another thing I want to quickly talk about is, you know, this LGBTQ, lesbianism, gay and all that, is legal here in Canada. In fact, they even celebrate it openly. Woman marrying woman, man marrying man and all that. You know, in Nigeria, if they catch you, it's 14 years imprisonment. It's against the law in Nigeria. But here in Canada, it's legal. They will encourage people to practice it. It's as bad that even in some public schools, they teach it as part of curriculum. That's why I see most immigrants, they don't like sending their children to public school. Yes, they like sending their children to Catholic schools. Yeah, like sending their children to Catholic school. So another thing I want to quickly mention is Canada has two, like for high school and for primary school, they have two systems of, they have the Catholic system and they have the public system. The public system is like public school which are government owned. All those schools, they allow students to be whoever they want to be, openly gay and all that, they allow them. Then they have Catholic school. In Catholic school, they teach them all this Catholic doctrine, Catholic morals, and to a large extent, all this LGBTQ and all that, they don't tolerate that, but they do it quietly so that they don't fall foul of the law and all that, but it's not encouraged, let me just put it that way. You understand? So just like in Nigeria, whereby this is against the law, here in Canada it's not against the law. And which other thing? Hope I've not left anything out. Okay, another thing I want to quickly mention is, here in Canada, oh boy, if you're in Canada, if you don't look very well, you might mistake yourself to think you are in India. Canada has a lot of Indian population. A lot of Indian population. If you see 3 or 4 people walking on the street, there's every likelihood that 2 or 3 of them are Indians. Everywhere you go here in Canada, you see Indians everywhere. All the malls, you go to Walmart, everywhere, all the workers, they are Indians. You go to Service Ontario, any government, this thing, everywhere is India, 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 they are everywhere. So if you don't look very well, you may just mistake yourself and think maybe you are in New Delhi or in Bombay or somewhere. Indians are everywhere. At least when I came to Canada, I came as a student. Even in your classroom, in your school, maybe if you guys are 50 in the class, you are very sure that of those 50, 35 will be Indians. Then maybe you see like 3 or 4 Nigerians. Maybe you see Asian, maybe Chinese, 1 or 2, just like that. But at least Indian, if it's a class of 50, 30, 35 of those students will be Indians. Just like most schools in the UK now, maybe master's class, you go, you see that majority of the students, they are from Nigeria. It's just like that here in Canada. Everywhere you go, Indians everywhere. You understand? Then what other thing haven't I spoken about? Okay. The last one I want to speak about is when you run foul of the law in terms of driving, they deduct points from your license. It's called demerit point. Maybe if you drive and the police catch you maybe you run a red light. I'm not saying if you run a red light, they just deduct your point. If you run a red light, they just give you tickets. They send the ticket to your house and you have to pay a fine. But let's assume maybe traffic offense, the police stop you on the way and they give you ticket and all that. There's some certain offense you commit and they deduct points from your license. It's called demerit point. So if they deduct up to like 9 demerit points, they suspend your license. You will not be able to drive. You understand? So it's different from Nigeria, whereby even most of us were driving without license then. And the few ones that I even have are fake. It's just a few that have the authentic one from road safety. Yeah, it's not like that. They catch you, get your license, and you run foul of the law. They deduct points from you. You understand? They might deduct 3 points. They might deduct 6 points. If they deduct 9, know that they will suspend your license. They may say, okay, for 3 months you will not drive. For 1 year you will not drive, or something like that. Well, these are the few I'll be able to put together. It's almost 21 minutes already. It's getting too long. So let me stop this video here. Alright, on to the next one. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed or followed my channel yet, please do. Thank you so much and I appreciate it. Bye for now.